Welcome to the West Coast, land of the best smoke, the valley, the bay, and of course Humboldt. We only crumble, top of the line. Get the blunt ready, cross the grapes like wine. We have a dance though, this the West Coast. Now you know 209's a code. We have a dance though, this the West Coast. Everybody know that we got the best smoke. We have a dance though, this the West Coast. Now you know 209's a code. We have a dance though, this the West Coast. Everybody know that we got the best smoke.
What up, MMA Maniacs? It's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios called Split Decision. Of course, tell your friends where they can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, our website, which is splitdecisionmma.com, iHeartRadio as well. Anywhere you can find MMA podcasts, you're going to find us, which is pretty damn cool. On Twitter and Instagram, it's SD_MMA, and on Facebook, it's Split Decision MMA Podcast. Give us a like, share the love, tell your friends. We've been getting a little more attention lately, so hopefully we can keep that momentum going. We appreciate all the support for Real. Speaking of Real, Real1209 did the intro song. You can check him out at real1209.com. Is that what you said?
Yep.
And also on Twitter and Instagram is at Real1209.
Real1209.
And 1 is spelled out, 209 is not.
Right.
I know it's complicated. Just try various combinations.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, put the blunt down.
just try various combinations until it fucking works.
Speaking of blunts, I'd like to give a shout out to Ziggy Smoke Shop.
Yep.
Off Alpine in Stockton.
That's the Diaz brothers, cousin?
That's your cousin, yeah.
It's the cousin smoke shop right there in Stockton, so thanks, Ziggy's.
Yeah, that's their shop on the cover art of this week's podcast.
For all of your
smoking needs.
Tobacco water pipe accessories.
Yeah. I sell pot and pot smoking accessories.
I don't think you could say that in California. You can take it in Colorado.
No, you can't see marijuana.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
What is it you can't say again? Also, strongboardbalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board, strongboardbalance.com. Definitely check out their Instagram. Always worth it because they give away a strongboard at least once a month. And it's a hell of a value right there.
I wonder if you could strongboard after you left Ziggy's Smoke Shop.
Probably really well, actually.
Really? Even better than before.
Be fucking zen, buddy. And then, of course, our second home, which is mymmanews.com. Is that right?
Yep.
mymmanews.com. So many things to remember. If you want to get breaking news, of course, they're going to have it because we only do this once a week.
Yep. And Eric Kowal and Kyle Carroll always bringing the news.
And even though we do this once a week, we still never know what the hell is going on.
No, we don't. We literally do not know what's going on 20 minutes before we walk in this room.
Don't even know Dodge is going to be here 20 minutes before we walk in this room.
Yeah, and apparently at Dodge's place, they don't even know what's going on. He had a chef walk out.
Just mass chaos. Dogs and cats living together.
I know, he's just mad.
Pets' heads are falling off.
Bird. I'm out of here.
Just because it's Asian food doesn't mean there's dog and cats in there.
Whoa. I wasn't even making that connection. I'm going for the Ghostbusters quote. Here you are. Throwing in Asian cuisine. Speaking of Ghostbusters, have you seen the reboot trailer?
I think it's going to be cool. It's all chicks, right?
It's going to be horrible.
What?
I don't know. I saw the long trailer that just, I think, it was too much. And then I saw a fan-edited trailer that made it look like, oh, I'd watch that movie. I think the original trailer just gave away way too much and made it look just bad. Bad.
Yeah. Sequels just aren't good.
It's not even a sequel. It's a complete reboot.
Remake.
Right, but I mean...
let's jump into the big news, of course. This week we had the press conference between Conor and Nate Diaz. Holly Holm and Miesha Tate, best friends up there during the stare down. Miesha looks fantastic. Cupcake looking good.
Booty, rocking everywhere.
Okay, now maybe I'm late to the party on this. But we've never talked about it before that I know of, but there's a lot of people on Reddit talking about Miesha getting breast implants.
Yeah. We talked about it. Because remember she was complaining about making weight.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, Dana was like, really? You're going to go add 5 to 7 pounds to your body weight and then complain about making weight?
Which is silly.
Right.
Yeah. It just seems like I don't have a problem with the woman who wants to do that, but if you're going to be in a sport where you're going to be getting kicked and punched in your chest...
Or where you're going to be
slammed.
Or you're going to complain about dropping 5 to 7 pounds and then add 5-7 pounds on your chest.
I agree with that statement completely. I didn't realize that we talked about it before. Was I not here for that?
No, you were here. It's just like you said, you get show amnesia.
I feel like I would have totally remember talking about Misha's boob for an entire show.
Yeah, we ran. No, we didn't. It wasn't an entire show. I think it was in passing.
Well, aside from that, she looks more jacked than I've ever seen her before a fight.
It's like, this is a normal weight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She looks shredded, though. I'm not saying that this is going to make a big difference up against Holly Holm because nobody's taken Holly Holm down ever.
Maybe she can make them like modular. That way, she like ballast. You can add and lose weight. Like today I'm throwing on the 2 pound.
Yeah,
We're
just doing the 2 pound bolt-ons today.
Yeah,
it's the fight set. I'm gonna put on the fight set.
I'm putting on the fight set today.
We're good to go.
Yeah, a little air valve or fluid valve at the bottom.
The jet ski's not the motorboat. So.
Aside from that, we also, of course, had Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz have the stare down. A lot of shit has come out since this happened. There's a lot of trash talk going on beforehand with Conor throwing, with his verbal warfare that he does. I thought Nate did a lot better this time around than he has in the past.
I think they're
with
both.
Conor.
Did you see him on Fox last night?
I missed that one.
Dude, Fox like, okay, we're going to put him on. Let's see what happens. And they're like, son of a bitch, why did we put him on?
Why did we put him on? All we had was one long beep.
Yeah.
For a half an hour.
Basically.
So I think Diaz may have won the trash talk yesterday. He had the quote of the entire conference when he talked about who do you even train with? You don't train with anybody. And Conor tried to talk trash about Nate's training partners, but really Nate's training partners, he's got Gilbert Melendez, he's got Jake Shields, he's got Nick
Cron Gracie.
I mean, his training partners are legit.
Right.
And not to say Conor's camp isn't legit. It is, obviously, but there's not a name in there like what Nate has in his camp. He says, I got all, I train with champions, and you're over here playing touch butt in the park with this dork with the ponytail.
He trained with fucking midgets.
He trained fucking midgets.
That's what he said.
He said, my whole squad could beat your entire squad. My JV squad could beat your entire squad.
Right.
Mic drop. That seemed to get under Conor's skin a little bit.
Okay, did you count the mic drops?
I did not count the mic
drops. I think
drops.
there's 15 or 17.
Is that right?
Betwixt the two of them, yeah.
Nate also did a video, answered some questions, and one of the questions he asked was, how high are you right now? And his answer was, right now, I am not high. Right now.
Right now.
So, of course, we had the stare down between Conor and Nate. A lot of stuff leading up to that, including TMZ video of Conor on stage talking to Jake Shields and the two other guys with the backpacks, saying that he'd stomp him or whatever. And he looks at Jake Shields and said, "I'd strangle you in a heartbeat." And Jake Shields looked at him and said, "I'll stomp the shit out of you."
Yeah.
And then Nick whispering in Nate's ear, and I don't know how they got the audio for it because it's magic. But Nick saying, if he touches you, it's fucking on.
Right.
If he fucking touches you, it's on. And that's exactly what Conor did. And now people are calling foul online because he basically punched Nate's hand.
Not to mention he had that big fucking ring on that hand.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying that he did it on purpose, in hopes to break Nate's hand.
Right.
And people online are going crazy about it, talking about how, in some ancient older forms of martial arts, they teach you that the back of the hand, if you can knuckle punch it. I used to do this. Actually, I used to do this with my friends. Knuckle punch the back of each other's hand to see who could quit first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because shit hurts.
Right.
People calling for a fine for Conor McGregor because
he should be fined. Isn't that what Dana said after the whole fucking Jones thing?
Yeah, of course. But
this shit won't happen. You will be fined. You're not going to get away with it unless you're Conor McGregor.
Yeah, no fine. What I thought was funny was it was McGregor and Diaz will not be fined after a press conference. What? Diaz didn't do shit.
Yeah, he didn't do shit. And half the Diaz camp couldn't do shit because if you go back and watch the video, they set a guy within 4 feet of Nick. Mm-hmm. As soon as Nick starts to even come to the stage, one guy trips him, another guy stands in front of him. He makes it on the stage. One guy's like, "No, Nick."
No.
They let Jake Shields because they don't give a fuck about Jake Shields.
Right.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Jake.
Go ahead, Jake.
You get all up in there.
He had a straight out of Stockton T-shirt on.
Now, have you seen the pictures about the ninja? Either there's a picture that shows a hand when Nate and McGregor go back all the way to the back, and they're saying that Nate did make contact with him back there, some type of ninja hand flip or a kick. And I don't know if it's TMZ or somebody earlier today has like this blurred picture of something coming at McGregor in the back.
Really?
Yeah, and it's all speculation.
It's all speculation.
Yeah.
That ring is going to kill me.
Oh, sorry.
And then there's pictures that TMZ posted also of what appeared to be Nate holding the hand that Conor punched.
Yeah, he rubbed it a couple times.
Yeah, speculation that he may have actually done some damage and that now he had to go see a doctor. Conor McGregor actually apparently said, he's going to see a doctor now because of damage to his hand in a joking manner.
Right.
But the latest news is that his hand is fine. Everything's cool, and he'll be fighting tomorrow.
Yeah, you didn't see the x-ray of it? They released an x-ray earlier today.
X-ray of his middle finger.
It was just a middle finger pointing out.
So just ridiculous circus happening at the press conference and build up for tomorrow night, which looking on Facebook, man, and on the Reddit MMA and stuff. This is Big fight.
And now a couple people were asking me today, what stops Nate from not coming out and just poking him straight in the eye?
Nothing.
And I mean, you know how they always extend their hand anyway?
Yeah. Nothing. Just like I said, if I ever get in an MMA fight, my first shot's going to be right at your balls. Because I fucking get one, we're going to touch gloves and I'm kicking you square in the nuts. I get one. And then when you fucking bend over in pain from that, I'm like, I gouge the fuck out of you. And then I won't do it anymore for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even care. He goes, I'll take a 10-8 round.
Fine. Fine. I'm gonna debilitate you for the rest of the 15 minutes that we're in there, though. Damn it. No, there's nothing stopping him, man. I mean, and there's nothing. I mean, really, what's stopping either of these guys from coming in overweight or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow night, but it's going to be fireworks.
Oh, and then the other question, too. Can they legally consider a drug test? Because he hasn't been in competition, and that's been the big thing about drug testing Nate.
Mm-hmm.
The minute he signed the fight, is he considered in competition?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay.
So the second that they agreed to the fight, they could have tested him for, which is fucked up because it's weed and it stays in your system forever.
Right.
You know? And that's why I'm wondering if they're kind of like purposely not testing him until after the fight.
But we have that outrageous metabolite level that's been allowed because of his brother, right? They moved it up to like 150 or something.
Yeah, even still, Nick fails. So, I mean, it doesn't matter apparently what they make it. If you're a Diaz, you're not going to pass the weed test.
They just don't care.
No,
that's the biggest thing. You don't care.
They don't care. And that's, like you said last week, you got to hedge your bet to make sure you get paid enough so where you know when you lose that 20% of your purse, then you're still getting paid. That pretty much covers the press conference. I mean, it was a circus. It was fun to watch. You've seen the clips circulating on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere else online today. So if you missed any of it, go back and enjoy it. Rory McDonald and Stephen Thompson are set to headline UFC Fight Night 89, which is pretty damn cool.
How did Rory get into the mix of all this? I mean, this was the last guy I thought Thompson would fight. I thought there would be some other people for him to fight, but I like the fight.
I like the fight a lot. I mean, Rory McDonald's still at the top of the list there.
Right.
I mean, pound for pound, and in his weight bracket, he's one of the top guys. And Thompson, obviously, is not doing too shabby. Might as well see what he can do against a championship-level fighter.
Right. So, I mean, if he beats Rory, then you give him a title shot?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think you have to. And then Rockhold, Weidman 2, Cruz Faber 3 are headlining not UFC 200, but UFC 199, June 4th at the Forum in L.A., which makes me wonder what is going to be at UFC 200.
I've heard that Rousey's supposed to fight Kat Zingano.
No, it's October, isn't it?
Is that far?
No, that's the rematch with Holm is set for October.
Right.
Ronda Rousey and Kat Zingano at UFC 200. Huh?
But again, that's a rumor.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's not going to happen.
No.
Well, just because she's not coming back. Especially with like the latest word officially from the UFC camp is that her official next fight as of right now that's been confirmed is against Holm, and it's in October.
Okay.
And that's her immediate rematch, no tune-up fight. Not to say that if she does come back sooner, they won't give her a tune-up fight.
But what if Holm loses?
What if, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Ronda's not coming back. There's a lot of time between.
I thought I lulled you into that.
and then you got the picture of Ronda floating around that the internet's freaking out about because she's obviously not at fight weight.
Oh, the EA Sports one where all the cameras are around her.
Yeah,
that is one thick chug-a-lug right there.
Yeah, well, she's hanging out with Two Scoop Carano, you know. So
I just seen a good picture of Carano with Felice Herrig the other night. Carano didn't look too bad.
No, I'm still a fan of Carano.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Two scoops, no scoops.
Yeah, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating ice cream, even if it was a whole, half gallon. That's
like
fine
I told
with
her. I'd take her when she looked like O'Donnell.
This is such a misogynistic show. I texted you guys something the other day that I thought was funny. I guess we could bring it up on the show just because it's kind of relevant. I was going through the Reddit forums, and I found the list. Somebody said something about KO'd Bisping would have won that fight. So KO'd Bisping is now a thing, and somebody actually took the time to post an entire list of peak fighters. KO'd Bisping added to the list along with Chuck with the look in his eye, motivated BJ Penn, C-level Kane, full camp Mendez, big cage Machida, small cage Romero, alcoholic Weidman, KO'd Bisping, 70% Hendricks. It's a list of fighters at their peak.
And if you follow the sport, you know all those.
You know all those nicknames.
You know all those.
Some of those I've actually never heard. Sea-level Kane, but that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I like him. That's why I screen capped him and saved him.
yeah. The sea-level Kane. That's the whole thing about them. That high elevation fight. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Wanderlei Silva, if you haven't heard the news, ended his retirement, signed with Bellator, as we predicted on the show forever ago.
Yeah, and right from Cueto, he called this. He's like he's going to sign with Bellator, and I was like, how do you know? What do you know about? He's like, I was living in Japan. He's like, all you have to do is do the hand motion in Japan. People are like, oh, Wanderlei, Wanderlei. Oh, yeah. But then again, I also found out that Ray Zeffo is like, people are scared of him. I was like, he's kind of a joke in the States. And they're like, no, I know, but in Japan, dude, he's a badass.
He's a beast.
And I was like, oh, so this is kind of like Hasselhoff in Germany.
Well, his name is Rampage. Rampage is huge in Japan, too.
No, I'm still scared of Rampage.
I'm scared of driving Rampage. That's the
Monster
Rampage.
truck driving Rampage.
That's the one that scares me the most is Monster Truck Rampage. And I forgot to announce this one. UFC 198, the official main event is going to be Werdum versus Stipe Miocic as the main event, going down at the Arena Atletico Paranaense in Curitiba? Fuck it, I don't know. Brazil. 40,000 seats in that venue.
So Kane's just out, huh?
Yeah, back surgery.
So yeah, I guess.
I mean, he's as far as I know, Kane is just huge on Dana White's shit list. I mean, the guy's fought like 4 times in 5 years,
right? Tying
up the belt. I love Kane, one of my favorite fighters, but apparently, that belt got a little too heavy for him.
You gotta stay active, man.
You gotta stay active. And I know this is kind of all over the board here, but this is kind of cool. Big John McCarthy is actually starting up a campaign to get Art Davie into the UFC Hall of Fame. The article that I'm reading is incorrect. He didn't invent MMA, but he was one of the creators behind UFC. I think the Romans invented MMA, but hey, whatever. Let's not worry about the semantics there. So you think that he should be in there being one of the creators of the UFC?
Yeah. I mean, like you say, he did not invent it, but he's a critical piece.
In the premier organization,
right?
For sure.
Right. And you got to, this is something that's in all the sports. If you go into baseball, you go into football, and there's a lot of people that you don't know their names until you go to the Hall of Fames, and you're like, yeah, this guy, like basketball. If you go to basketball and like you look at the guy who started with the peach baskets and the whole start of the sport and everything. I mean, it's pretty huge, and this sport, MMA, has that. At its basis, UFC has that at its base.
It's really, it's crazy to look at. Dodge has been to like the UFC tour when they brought like the UFC bus out and stuff like that, and you can go and hold the bells and see all the history behind the UFC. But a lot of newcomers to the sport, and for a long time, I didn't even know the full history of it. I mean, when it got started up by the Gracies, essentially as a way to showcase Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as an actual legitimate self-defense technique, and that's why they invited so many of the better fighters from around the globe. Like, hey, come and try your luck against this goofy-looking bastard, Royce Gracie.
Right, almost like a traveling sideshow.
Yeah, like looks like could fight his way out of a wet paper bag. See if you can beat him.
Right,
and then he starts beating everybody up with this jiu-jitsu stuff, and then the sport, kind of blew up. And it's cool history. And Art Davie, I think he's an integral part of it. Should be in the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
why the hell not? DaDa 5,000 beats per minute is out of the hospital. Took 2 weeks for this guy to recover from his fight with Kimbo.
Shit. I still don't see how they give Kimbo the win. They should, and there's that ring again. They should.
Make it a no contest?
Yeah, I don't know, man, because he didn't get knocked out. His heart stopped.
So he still was unable to continue.
I guess.
I mean, you get the win if your opponent breaks their leg on your.
The hospital should get the purse. That's who should get the money.
The fucking defibrillator should.
Yeah, their heart department or whatever.
Also going on today, if you have the time to check it out, the UFC Unstoppable press conference is going down. Why not watch it with Cormier and Jones? Jones going hard on Instagram up against Cormier. Tweeted a picture of him holding the belt and a picture of Carl from Family Matters. And then it was answered back by Cormier. He retweeted himself holding the belt with a picture of the Dave Chappelle crack fiend guy with John Jones's face superimposed over it. So they're going hard on Instagram back and forth to each other. You got to catch it when you can catch it because both of them keep deleting their tweets like pussies.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they put something out there.
Well,
it's
either they are or their publicist.
or their publicist is.
Yeah. What did I tell you?
Just take it away. Just take away their phones, man. Cyborg Justino is launching a fan campaign for the UFC fight in Brazil. Who do you want to see her fight at this point?
I don't know what weight she's going to fight in. We don't have a 145 class for women in the UFC.
No, we
they?
do not.
That's my big question. If she can make 135, I could tell you a long list of people she could fight. But we don't have any.
Is there anybody? Let's say if weight wasn't an issue here, is there anybody in the UFC you want to see her fight in Brazil?
I don't think there's anybody safe for her to fight. I would not put any 135 fighter, even if they let her chunk up, to go against this woman who walks around at 180, who cuts 40 pounds to get to 140. That's the lowest she's been so far, right?
It was I believe so. Yeah,
140. You know,
Yeah.
and that's working hard.
Yeah,
I mean, Gabby went from 230 and she's down to 160 something, right?
yeah.
She should fight Gabby. That's what he should do.
I'd watch that fight.
Gabby Garcia
I'd watch that fight.
against Christine. Yeah.
That won't happen in the UFC though.
They can fight at a catchweight at 170.
It'll have to happen in like Risen or something. That ain't going down around here.
Right.
Conor McGregor surprised a fan this week as well.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. They were driving around Vegas, I'm assuming.
Right.
And they happened to see a balcony that had a cardboard cutout of Conor McGregor up on it with the Irish flag draped over it.
Yeah, and he tells him, "I'm coming back."
And he does.
That's awesome.
He's a man of the people, man. He
Yeah.
really is. Definitely trying to be. Made that guy's life.
Oh, dude.
Made his life. Conor McGregor had Conor McGregor shoes.
Oh, dude. He had shoes that Conor McGregor didn't even have. He's like, "Where'd you get these Reeboks? I can't even get these Reeboks yet." He's like, "Here's my girlfriend. Will you do my girlfriend real quick?
I'm just going to sit in the corner and use tears for lube.
Can you choke her out?" No, not with your hands.
choke me.
You better not tap out.
Excellent. So didn't we have UFC last weekend?
Yes.
Where is it?
Oh, gotta find it.
God damn it! It was UFC. It was what, Fight Night 84?
Yeah, it was Silva versus Bisping.
Right.
The
KO'd
debacle.
KO'd Bisping.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know how home cooking works, but it does.
Well, okay, let's get into this for a minute here. I saw the fight. I finally got to see the fight.
Did you watch the whole fight? All five.
So much controversy around it. Yeah. And
How many rounds do you actually give Bisping?
2.
Right.
I think I'm thinking for once I'm siding with Dana on this one. So let's go ahead and jump into the card here. This whole thing was on Fight Pass. David Tamier and Martin Svensson was a TKO in the second round. Timo Pakalin up against Thibault Gutsi was a rear naked choke in the first round. Then you had Daniel, up against Jarvis Dano. You got a technical decision, which is a majority decision.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Keep pushing through.
Keep swimming, Joe. Keep swimming.
O'Meal Rezcook.
Yeah.
O'Meal Cook. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. I don't know. And then you also had a decision between Rustam Kabilov up against Norman Park. That was in favor of Rustam. And then Christoph Jotko up against Brad Scott. Decision in favor of Christoph. Arnold Allen gets a decision over Yotsin Meza. And then finally a finished fight. Scott Askren gets a KO head kick over Chris Dempsey. Davey Grant up against Marlon Vera. Like it says fighter. Is there a Marlon Vera that's not a fighter? No, I'm curious. Now I want to know who the other Marlon Vera is. It's like a soccer player or something?
Probably.
Yeah. This one, again, this was like Decision Fest 2016 here, kids. Yeah. Decision in favor of Davey, then a decision in favor of Makwan Amakari and Mike Wilkinson. Your main card, also on Fight Pass, Brad Pickett up against Francisco Rivera. Split decision in favor of Brad Pickett. And then Tom Breeze up against Kita Nakamura. Decision in favor of Tom Breeze. And a decision in favor of Gerhard Musasi over Thales Laertes. And who did I take last week?
I think you took Laertes.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did. My
We all went with Moosey.
Yeah, my DraftKings card is probably dead in the water this weekend. And then Michael Bisping gets a very controversial win over Anderson Silva. I don't know what to say to this fight. He was definitely KO'd at the end of the third round.
Okay, now as far as the KO, Anderson Silva should have kept punching his ass.
But could he? Because he was at the bell.
I don't care. I just kept punching his ass till Herb Dean pulled me off.
But that's the thing is that since it happened at the bell, he still has, if he is moving and recovers in that 60 seconds.
But I thought they couldn't help him up, and they had to help him up to put him on the seat.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why it's controversial. I don't think that it should have gone the way it did. Anderson Silva put on a good fight.
It was a good fight by Anderson.
Yeah.
Silva should have won it.
Yeah.
I think what they were trying to do was penalize him for not finishing it. That's my take, because he could have finished that fight.
Well, even penalizing him for not finishing it is still kind of bullshit because he did finish it. He thought he hit a walk-off home run.
Right.
You know, and you can't.
I love when they pulled him down and they said, like, "You didn't win yet." What the fuck?
And that's the thing too, is that imagine all of that, the endorphins you have running through your body because you just won, and then having them all sucked out of you, and then you got to fight 2 more rounds.
Right.
You know, I think it was a huge injustice done towards Anderson Silva, and Bisping definitely got to get gift wrapped.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be. I've talked to guys this week that try to tell me, they're like, "There's not one round that Bisping won." I was like, "You didn't watch the fight then."
Right.
You know, I'm with you. I'll give him 2 rounds. And I mean, in 1 round, I thought, especially when Anderson was doing that duck shit, and every time he ducked, Bisping would counter with an uppercut and catch him. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like, Anderson's going to pay for this shit. But then no. You know, he ruled the rest. From the time that he knocked him out, he pretty much ran the fight at his pace all the way out and played with him.
Yeah. And unfortunately, just because of the way things go, and I really don't think I'm curious. Like, I would love to talk to Herb Dean about this and just say, okay, so the knockout happened at the bell. If Anderson would have jumped on him and threw a hammer punch, which would have definitely stopped the fight, it would have been after the bell. So then he would have been in trouble for it.
Right.
So it's like there's no way Anderson Silva could have won this fight unless that knockout would have happened earlier in the round.
Right. And again, his guys had to pick him up and set him on the stool. And I thought there was a rule against that too.
Apparently not if you're the home main event. Oh, and that's another thing too, is one of the judges hadn't judged a fight in 8 years.
And the
last fight he judged was the Bisping robbery over Hamill.
Right.
In London. The last time that Bisping got a gift wrapped card was this judge. I want to know who this judge is. What kind of seedy underground connections does he have?
The judges over there wear like the wigs.
Yeah, they do.
They're all powdered.
The big powdered wigs.
That's awesome.
And they're all connected to the Illuminati.
Chip, chip, cheerio.
Oh, I forgot about this one. Bellator MMA, Justin Wren should be Kimbo Slice's next opponent, but Rampage wants him.
Rampage wants him too, but I think Justin is he's campaigning. He wants everybody to get behind him. So, but I mean, like I was telling you, after watching how tired Kimbo got, I want to fight him.
Yeah,
you just run from him the first round.
After I kick him in the balls and gouge his eyes, then I'm going to make him chase me.
Because then, you know, every guy that ever fought him in an alley or a backyard's like, why couldn't I have fought that Kimbo? He didn't get tired like that.
What about everybody who's ever fought Dada 5000? Why couldn't I fight that Dada? want the opponent that's going to have a heart attack in our match, please. That would be the one that I would like to go against. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have Titan FC going down this weekend.
It's going down tonight.
Tonight, if you get the option to watch it. You may as well. You're probably not going to know a lot of the fighters unless you really, really follow it. You know, our first fight's the guys making their debut against each other. But still, it's a good minor league organization. Am I not allowed to say that?
Right.
No.
It's not a feeder league.
It's not a feeder league.
It's a minor league.
Gotcha. Sure, it's not a feeder league. So Ricky Simon is going up against Anderson Dos Santos in your main event. It's a bantamweight bout. Ricky Simon is 7-0 from the USA. Anderson Dos Santos from Brazil, 13-3. Got the guy in the co-main event, Steven Seiler. He's got some experience there, 28-14, going up against the undefeated Andre Harrison, who is 11-0. Interesting. Steven Seiler, 28-14. Never heard of him. I'm not even saying that to be a dick. That's a lot of experience.
Right.
You know, but hey, Pat Healy actually fights in Titan FC, and he is fighting tonight as well. That's experience as well. 29-21, going up against the 14-8 Mushin Corbury.
He's just trying to get that 30-21, and I think he's done.
Then he's done?
Yeah.
It's all over. Check that out tonight, Titan FC on UFCFightPass.com. And happening this weekend, we have another Bellator going down. It's Bellator
Again
151.
Against tonight.
Tonight. So by the time you're listening to this, you should definitely turn on your TV and see if you can find it. Your main card is going to be Joe Tamanglo going up against Siron Kakai. Mountaintop. Gotti Yamuchi going up against Bubba Jenkins. You can never bet against a guy named Bubba.
No,
ever.
no. And Bubba Jenkins it's going to be a good fight.
You got Bubba Jenkins. That is his name. Where is this dude
I
from?
feel like there should be like two smashed cards in the ring too.
Yeah.
You know,
I just want to see what part.
Sunday, Bubba Jenkins.
What part of Mississippi is Bubba Jenkins from?
comes out
That's all
in,
I
like,
want to
some
know.
overalls or something.
Coconut Creek,
Creek.
Florida. That is not North Florida, or that's not South Florida. I mean, that is North Florida. That's near the Georgia line.
Oh,
if
is
your
it?
name's Bubba Jenkins, you are near that Georgia line, and you have a Confederate flag in your room somewhere.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think he wrestles alligators.
I don't know, man. I went to North Florida.
He said he grew up in Virginia, didn't it?
Let's go check again.
All right.
I went to Florida on my honeymoon when I was married long time ago, and we flew into Daytona. Well, they do Daytona 500. It's not in Miami. I'll tell you that right now. We flew into Daytona, and then we went north to St. Augustine, Florida, and it was not what I pictured Florida to be at all. When you're thinking like, you know, beaches, beautiful women, bikinis and thongs and dance clubs, and, you know, the Florida that you see in a Pitbull video or a Will Smith's Miami video is not North Florida. You go to North Florida, and it's like it's 24/7 fireworks stores, and their windows are painted like the Confederate flag. Wow. And the South shall rise again.
Yeah, this is what I thought. He grew up in Virginia, came out to Arizona, wrestled at Arizona State. He did fight in Bellator in the lightweight division.
Wait, he was born in Frankfurt, Germany. Is he an Air Force baby or something?
Most likely, because then Virginia Beach, that again, big Air Force base, right?
Yeah. I just feel like
We're spending way too much time looking up Bubba Jenkins.
Bubba Jenkins from Frankfurt, Germany.
he's definitely. I'm saying he's the Air Force brat.
And then Fernando Gonzalez going up against Gilbert Smith. Gilbert Smith is unclickable. Gilbert Smith will lose. And then Joe Warren.
He might earn his click.
He might earn his click today. He could earn his
yeah.
click today. Let's see if he earns his click. Joe Warren up against Darian Caldwell is your main event. Any thoughts on that? It's a bantamweight battle.
I know Joe Warren.
You know Joe Warren?
Yeah.
So we're going with Joe Warren on this one?
Joe Warren.
Joe Warren to be your winner. Before we get to UFC 196, Killer Kelly McGillis could not be here today. Interviewed her this morning, though, on my radio show. She's ready. She's pumped. She had her last day of training today. As far as camp goes, she's flying out to Vegas on Tuesday. And then the professor will join her, I believe, on Thursday for the fight going down on Friday. Which is your Invicta card that's happening next Friday. So if you have Fight Pass, make sure you check it out. Support Killer Kelly McGill in her venture, going up against a late replacement opponent, as we found out today as well.
Who's going to actually, is going to test her a little bit more than this.
Than Amanda Orr?
Yeah.
Well, Amanda Orr had more experience in the amateur ranks.
Right.
She was like 11-1 in amateurs.
Yeah, but this girl, right, she's had more professional fights, right?
No, she's 2-0.
So she's exactly the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's 2-0, just like Kelly. I can't remember her name for the save my life right now, though. Do you remember it offhand?
No.
Anyway, good luck to Killer Kelly and the rest of the Last Stand fight team heading out to Vegas at the Tropicana for the Invicta that is going down. Now, of course, UFC 196 is finally happening, and lots of stuff going on around this card. Julian Erosa and Teruto Ishihara kick it off on your Fight Pass. Then Justin Salas going up against Jason Sago. Also on Fight Pass, your last card on Fight Pass, some names you are going to recognize. Diego Sanchez up against Jim Miller.
And he wants you to know, the nightmare is back.
Oh, the Nightmare is back.
The nightmare is back. That's what Diego said.
Jeez. Nightmare Diego, yes, Cartwheel Diego, the Dream. Now the Nightmare's back. I don't care. Jim Miller's going to win. That's my pick right there. Darren Elkins going up against Chaz Skelly. This is on Fox Sports 1. Kicks it off right there. I'd pick Chaz Skelly in this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm going Skelly.
Vitor Miranda is going to get up against Marcelo Guimaraes.
I'm going, as of late, I'm going to just go with Vitor.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to disagree with you. And then Eric Silva is going up against Nordine Talib. Any thoughts there?
That's a toss-up, but I'll take Talib.
I'm going to Eric Silva on this one.
Are you?
And then Brandon Thatch finishes up your preliminary card up against CR Bahadurzada.
Bazooka.
Bahadurzada. Yeah, Bahadurzada. Got it. Bahadurzada.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. I'm taking Thatch on this one. And then Amanda Nunes is going up
Is that
against...
only because you didn't want to say his last name one more time?
Yes, pretty much. Valentina Shevchenko.
I'm taking Shevchenko.
Wait, Shevchenko. Shevchenko. Fucking name.
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko. Let's do that. Who you got on this one?
Shevchenko.
I'm with you. Corey Anderson going up against Tom Lawler.
Oh,
It's a tough one.
that's Filthy Tom, right? Filthy Tom Lawler.
Right. And Corey Anderson actually favored in this fight, has a better record, but a younger fighter. Less experienced than Tom.
You know what? I listen to a lot of Flying Brian, so I'm going to take Filthy Tom Lawler.
I think Corey Anderson's going to win this one. And
All
I can't remember who I picked on DraftKings. Damn it. Guion Viante going up against Yar Latifi.
I don't have a dog in this fight.
Guion Viante is who I'm picking.
Yeah.
And then your champion, Holly Holm, is going up against Miesha Tate to defend her title for the first time. This fight is interesting with Miesha Tate being the only person to take Ronda Rousey as far as she did before Holly Holm ultimately beat Ronda Rousey. Miesha Tate faced Ronda Rousey twice. Miesha Tate looks jacked in this fight like we were talking about earlier. Holly Holm looks like Holly Holm always does. Very quiet, no trash talk between these two. They went on vacation together. Holly Holm, though, keep in mind, is undefeated and has never been taken down. And Miesha Tate, her specialty is wrestling.
First time for everything.
First time for everything. Definitely interesting to see how this one goes. I'm going to have to go with Holly Holm with the win simply because I think that Holly Holm's going to be able to keep it standing, and that's going to really take Miesha Tate out of the game quite quickly.
Tate for the win.
Tate for the win. I love me some cupcakes, man, but
Yeah.
Going Holly Holm.
I'm underdogging it these next two fights.
I'm underdogging it for this one. Conor McGregor with Nate Diaz, 209 in the house. We talked a ton about this one earlier. But bottom line is it comes down to this fight being a 170 where neither one of them fight. This fight has zero ramifications except for it's just settling some beef right now. And for it to be at 170, which means Nick is going to come and get revenge for his brother should his brother lose. They should just bring in the whole fucking team.
You think Nick can make 170?
Yeah, he's made it in the past.
Has he? Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I think that's where. Wait, no, him and Robbie. No,
They fought at 185.
The first
right?
time they fought at 185.
I thought so.
I think he could just to
Yeah.
beat the shit out of Conor McGregor.
That'd be awesome.
I think he could.
And I think Nate's going to do it.
Nate presents a lot of different things that Conor hasn't faced before in the way the Stockton slap style, the trash talking in the cage style, a lot of stuff that he basically taught Conor McGregor. That's where he learned this stuff.
Right.
And not only is the Stockton slap going to be an interesting and eye-opening thing for Conor, but the way the Diaz brothers box altogether is going to be something he's never felt in the cage before. Not only that, he's the biggest fighter that Conor McGregor has ever faced, and he can do southpaw no problem, which a lot of guys have problems with Conor McGregor because he can switch it up. And get that southpaw knockout.
Okay, so how do you see this opening up? Do you see him going at him? Because McGregor's going to come at him. So do you think like Nate just kind of like keeps that arm distance and just keeps kind of walking away from him?
Oh, I see a lot of pitter patter going on with Nate for sure until he finally feels him out and decides what he wants to do.
But that's going to open up for that kick, and that kick could be deadly.
It could be. I mean, I don't know. Who was it? It was Josh Thompson was the only one to TKO a Diaz, and he TKO'd Nate. And it was a nice chopping kick to the side of his neck, followed up by some punches that put him away. And that's what worries me because Nick has never been stopped. If this was Nick versus Conor, then Conor would be in for a fucking world of hurt,
right?
Because he's not putting the fight away. He's not going to be the Conor McGregor who can stop the fight in the first and second.
But
round.
other than the Thompson fight, both of Diaz's superpower is they can get beat up.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like kick-ass.
They are like kick-ass.
You know what I'm saying?
They can continue to take punches all day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how long this fight goes on when it goes into the championship rounds. Should it go into the championship rounds? It being the main event and not being a title fight, it's still a 5-round fight.
Now that's somebody told me they're like, I got McGregor till it goes to the third. They're like once it goes to the third, it's anybody's gang. And I was like, you really believe that? And they're like, Conor, nobody's gone to the third with him, and he could blow his whole wad in the first and second. He could blow his whole wad in the first.
And I'm really just hoping that he doesn't stop Nick. And if this fight does end at some point, I want it to end in the third or later. I really want to see that happen.
Right.
Just because I want to see what Conor can do later in the fight.
Right.
If he can take out Nate Diaz, then Jesus, man, this guy is. These are the
but it
real
also
deal.
depends which Nate, because if it's the Nate that
Oh wait, we got to add another nickname.
yeah. If it's Dos Anjos Nate, it don't count because he took that fight with Dos Anjos and he didn't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he's mad this time.
Right.
We got Angry Nate coming in here, but he's also coming in on short notice.
Yeah, he's got red.
We got
this is
Angry
red-
Nate. We got Short Notice Nate.
Short notice Nate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to
Red
go.
panty Nate.
So basically, it's we're 209. We're taking 209 all day.
Yeah, we're with 209.
Is it the smart bet? No. Conor McGregor obviously favored heavily in this fight, and I'm sure a lot of you listening are calling us
We don't
idiots
give
right
a
now.
fuck. What? We don't give a fuck.
Shout out to Cheerios. He takes with them.
That's right, bro.
You call her lady. You can tell her you got the red panties because you got to fight with Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's right. If Fucks was a state, we'd have to call it Rhode Island. Smallest motherfucker. We have no fucks to give.
No fucks to give. You playing touch butt with that dork in the park and with the.
I love that shit. That's one good thing is he's talked shit like he was talking shit to Urijah, and Urijah was. Uriah's okay at talking shit, but he's not really good at it, Mm-hmm. And like when Dominic Cruz is talking shit to TJ Dillashaw, you could tell where one guy's used to talking street talk and shit.
Right.
And this is good because he's like, fuck you. You ain't doing shit. You fucking train with midgets.
Well, it's all going down tomorrow night. We'll definitely see what happens. Everybody's just anticipating this fight big time. It's blowing up on Facebook. It's trending all over the place. It's going to be a big deal, even though it has zero ramifications. It don't make sense, my friends, but it makes dollars, and that's all that matters at this point in time.
Yeah, but I mean, neither did fucking Gracie Shamrock or DaDa 5000.
Yeah, but that's not.
And those broke records.
This is bigger than that.
This is bigger than that.
Yeah.
I expect more out of the UFC.
I don't anymore.
Not anymore, no.
This whole fucking thing's a carnival.
Yeah, they're more sideshow fights.
I mean, just the fact, again, that Conor gets to punch this guy in the side of his fucking hand and he's not getting penalized.
No, of course not.
He's Dana's bitch.
Because I'll take my ball and go home. You want me to take all these Irish people that are here to see me and take them and go back to Ireland? That's exactly what I'll do. No, well, anyway, that wraps up another episode of Split Decision. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. Hopefully, Dodge will be back with us next week. I guess we'll find out about that one. If you want to apply for his sushi chef position,
just hit him up chef job
at Dodge the Badfish on Instagram and Twitter, and let him know that you're applying for the sushi chef. Was it a sushi chef or was it one of the back chefs?
I don't know.
You have to ask.
I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's like the UFC, one falls out and then you move up.
I don't know. Send your resume in to Dodge the Badfish at Twitter. And thanks for listening. Tell your friends. You can find us wherever you can find MMA podcasts, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and our website, splitdecisionmma.com. Also, SD_MMA on Instagram and Twitter. And Facebook, Split Decision MMA Podcast. Thanks again to StrongboardBalance.com, Real1209.com, and of course, MyMMANews.com. That wraps it up for this week. So until next time, from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.
Fuck that leprechaun.